guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, hi, my name is Keisha. Please go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below and turn on your notification bell. That way every time I upload, you guys do get notified. So for today's video, guys, I didn't really want to make this video, but I had already made a video on what was going on with my newborn. So I wanted to update you guys on what is or has been going on. So now he is about 2 months and 2 weeks old. I am a little late on the update, but we've had a lot going on. So for those of you that are new and don't know what is going on with my son, he has a reflux, and I will link the video up here. That way you guys can go and watch the other video and kind of get an idea. That way I don't have to explain myself all over again. So when he was born, he has reflux. So basically what that is like when he drinks his milk, he won't keep it down. He will like throw it back up. So I just wanted to tell you first the weight that he was at when he was born. So the weight was 7 pounds 9 ounces. And after all of that stuff started happening to him with the reflux, he lost 16% of his weight. So he weighed 6 pounds 4 ounces. So he was very underweight. He was hospitalized, and so we have taken him to the hospital about 3 times already. I think 3 or 4. He was hospitalized once. So right now he's doing a little better than before. He is still vomiting in his feedings. And I just wanted to let you guys know that he did go, before I start talking about everything, he did go for his 2-month vaccines. And let me just tell you guys that before he went for his 2 months shots, he was eating a little better. He was still spitting up and he was still vomiting just a little, not like before, like not to the extreme like before. So before he got his vaccines, like I said, he was drinking up to 4 ounces of milk. And after he got his vaccines, he is only drinking like 2. And we kind of have to stay there or keep feeding him until he gets his 3 ounces. So, and then it kind of seemed like he was getting like a fever or something. He was getting even more fuzzy. He was crying more, like something hurt him. So I called his doctor, and she told me that to give it 48 hours because it was probably, the vaccine. So he was, with the fever, if he had a fever or if he got a fever, and him drinking less was probably because of the vaccine. So to give it 48 hours. So we give it 48 hours. After the 48 hours till this day, and it has now been about, I think, almost 2 weeks. He is only drinking 2 ounces, you guys. 2 ounces. He's 2 months and 2 weeks. Remember that. He's 2 months and 2 weeks. And he's only drinking 2 ounces. We have to kind of not force him, but stay with him until he tries to finish 3 ounces. So these past couple days, since last week, he's been drinking Pedialyte because he doesn't want to drink milk. So whenever we took him for the vaccines, she checked him, and she also noticed that he has a wheezing sound, and it's pretty loud. And she asked me if that was the first, or if it just started happening, and I told her no, that I started hearing it since he was born. But I guess it wasn't as bad like now, because now it's when he breathes, you can hear like a loud wheezing noise. And when he drinks his milk, he kind of he can't get like the entire air. You know what I'm saying? Like he can't breathe all the way, like breathe like us all the way. I don't know how to explain to you guys. He just can't catch his breath entirely. I'm not sure if I'm making any sense, but you know what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. So she referred him to a pulmonologist. Okay. We went to his appointment on, I think it was like 2 days ago. We went a couple days ago to the pulmonologist, and they just did like a checkup on him. And the doctor did also notice that he has a very loud wheezing sound, and I guess kind of noticed his breathing. So before I start talking about that, I did want to finish talking about what I was talking about with his milk. So basically, he is throwing up and spitting up a little bit more than usual, than the normal. So she did put him on a medication called Nexium. So basically, what Nexium is a medication to help his food, stay down, like stay in his stomach instead of throwing it back up. So he has been on that medication for about a week, over a week. It is not helping. He is still throwing up. Not as much, like I said, like before, but he's still throwing up. So anyways, let me get to the other part. So like I said, we went to the pulmonologist. He got a checkup. So now what they're going to do is, because he has a very loud wheezing sound, and also when he's drinking milk and it's time for me to burp him. By the way, when I burp him 3 times throughout his feeding, whether it's 3 ounces or less. So I do burp him enough. Even when I burp him enough, after 1 hour, he still chokes, and sometimes, and he'll still burp. So it's just a mess, you guys. It's confusing. I know. That's why I'm telling you guys to just go watch the other video. That way you guys can kind of understand what I'm talking about. So then, what he's gonna have a procedure done this Monday. So today I'm recording, and today is Friday. I will probably put it up today, the same day. So he is gonna get a procedure done on Monday. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna put a little camera first. First, they're gonna sedate him. Then they're gonna put a little camera down his nose and then down his mouth, and they're gonna check his windpipe, because according to them, they don't think it's his lungs or the respiratory, I think they think it's the windpipe. So they said something about it being stridor, so that has something to do with the windpipe. So they're gonna check that with a camera, and then they're gonna go down to his stomach and check his lungs, and check if there's any like Pedialyte or there's any milk that is still stuck under there. And so basically they're just gonna check him, all inside, to see what exactly is going on with his breathing. Because also, like I said, whenever I burp him and when he coughs, he'll choke at the same time. So like, let me give you an example. So if I feed him, it's time for his burping. During the burping, if he has to cough, because it sounds like he has like a lot of boogers, or I don't know, not phlegms, but like a lot of boogers, you know what I'm saying? When I'm burping him and he coughs at the same time, he'll kind of choke and cough like a smoker's cough, like an adult. You know what I'm saying? Like a deep cough or burp. I don't know how to explain it to you guys. It's so stressful. But I just wanted to give you an idea. So so basically a lot has been going on, and so now he has reflux, really bad reflux. He's still underweight. Now he has a problem. He's had a problem with breathing, and now they're gonna get a procedure done. And to top it all off, I got a phone call from the nurse, I think the day before yesterday. So they do have to take a COVID test. They do have to do a COVID test on him, and I really hate that, you guys, because he's already been through so much since he was born. I know it might not be as bad as other kids, but just watching him go through so much stuff, and then being hospitalized and getting like 3 catheters and then 3 IVs, like, it's too much for a baby that's just 10 days old. No one wants to see their kid go through anything like that, or even worse. So it has me I'm not frustrated with him. I'm frustrated about what is happening to him. I just don't understand. This is my 4th baby, and my other kids, I've never gone through anything like this before. So I don't know, it's the first. So I'm a little nervous about his appointment. His procedure is going to be at 2 p.m. So what they told us is on Monday, we can only feed him. And that's another thing that, really bothers me. It really sucks, because on Monday, on the day of his procedure, he can only drink milk until 8 in the morning. You guys, they're babies. They get hungry like every 2 to 3 hours. You know what I mean? So for his procedure, he cannot drink anything. So we have to stop giving him milk at 8 in the morning. And from 8 to 12 noon, he can only have Pedialyte. We have to stop a little bit before noon. And his procedure is at 2 p.m. So you guys, that's still like a little, a little gap of him not having any food in his stomach. The reason he cannot have food in his stomach is because of the camera they are gonna, go put down there, because he has reflux and a breathing problem. They don't want him to choke or something happen while they're in there. So that gets me very, very nervous and just so frustrated that I can't feed him or he can't eat. But it is better for him so he won't choke during the procedure, because when they sedate him, they're not going to fully sedate him. He's not going to be asleep. He'll still be conscious and alert. He'll just be sleepy, if that makes sense. So when we do take him on Monday, we have to be there by 12. By 12, I think they're going to put the IV in his hand, and that is where he's going to get the medication through to kind of sedate him. And I'm very nervous about that, you guys, because even when I take my older kids to the dentist, I don't like when they sedate him. I always think they're going to overgive them, and I just told them to be very careful when they sedate him, like not to give him too much, because I don't want nothing bad to happen to him. And I'm sure every parent will feel the same. But so we're going to talk to them about that. And also what we're going to talk to them about is when we get to the hospital, I don't want any other nurse but the nurses that are specialized for IVs, because the last time that we went, there were 2 nurses that said that they were, everybody there knows how to put an IV, and I get it, I know, but 2 of them were fishing for his vein, and you guys, his hand is super tiny. He was 10 days old. They couldn't find a vein. They were fishing for a vein. He was too weak to even notice the IV, and it broke my heart until I told him to stop. And they ended up getting a specialized nurse. They ended up getting a nurse that specialized in IVs, which is the first thing that I said. But anyways, we're going to talk to them about that when we get there, because I want somebody that specializes in IVs only to do it, to put the IV on him. And so after the procedure is done, so the procedure itself is very short. It's just the preparation that takes a little bit more, that gets me more nervous. So I am going to, I've been praying, since he was born, for everything just to go okay with him. So if you guys can pray for him also, I really appreciate that, you guys. It is a little nerve-wracking. So after the procedure is done, they are going to take him to the recovery room. After the recovery room, if everything's okay, they should let us go home after like 4 hours or something. But he did say 60% of the kids that have that stridor problem will outgrow it, and the other 40% will have some type of other complications. So I am praying that it's nothing serious, nothing bad. I always get emotional or very sentimental because it's hard to talk about it, especially putting it, for everyone to see. And I'm not putting it to get likes or anything out there. I'm just putting it because I've never had to deal with my kids having stridor, having a breathing problem, or having a reflux problem. So I had never heard about reflux before. And when I made the video about him having reflux, somebody actually, people have had experiences with their kids, and I would like to know what their experiences were. Even though they're not the same, I never knew that there was any reflux, or kids had reflux, or I didn't even know that was anything. And so it kind of helps me when they comment there in the comment section about their experiences or about their kids also having it, because then I kind of am aware of what that is. So that's the reason why I'm also posting this, because I'm pretty sure there's people out there or parents out there that have kids that also have the same thing like my son does. Maybe not exactly the same, but it's nice to know what, a little bit more about what he has. So to come to an end, you guys, I still have talked to his doctor again about his eating, because until right now, He's only eating 2 ounces. So the feeding at 8 in the morning, I was able to feed him like the entire 4 ounces. And you guys, that was a miracle because he hasn't been eating 4 ounces for like almost 2 weeks now. But the last feeding right now, today, which is Friday, at 12 or 11, he only drank 2 ounces. I was there with him for quite some time, you guys. And, you know, usually babies eat, they take 15-30 minutes maybe, and we have to be with him for over 30 minutes just to get the 3rd ounce in him. But he just didn't want to take it. He cries like he's in pain, like I said, so I don't want to force it down his throat because we also have to check what is wrong with him from his windpipe. So yeah, you guys, so he only drank 2 ounces, and in a little bit I'm gonna give him some Pedialyte because I don't want him to be dehydrated. I don't want anything bad to happen to him, and I'm gonna feed him on the next feeding. I'm gonna try my best to feed him at least 3 ounces. So that is all the update that I have for you guys today. I will update you guys and let you guys know how his procedure went on Monday. If all of you can just take a minute of your time and just pray for him, guys, because I'm still very worried and nervous for him, and I feel really bad. If I wish that it was me in there and not him. So I will let you guys know how everything goes on Monday and see what else his pediatrician says about his feeding. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys on my next video.